A vehicle was heading southbound on the 3600 block of Avenue A when the driver lost control and crashed into this home. With the issue of child abuse in the limelight once again, it raises the topic of more effective ways to discipline children. Yuma Fire Department pays special tribute to the firefighters that lost their lives on September 11th by placing 343 flags in their lawn. The City of Yuma Civic Center presents its 4th annual Wedding and Quinceañera Expo that has everything you need to plan your special day. Goodwill of Central Arizona and Yuma Community Food Bank are coming together this September to raise awareness for Hunger Action Month. It really is no joke. They are protected and weighted down, and they actually have to run and crawl through the houses with all this gear. It's such a great opportunity to come out, try on all the gear, get on the vehicles, kind of see what your local law enforcement deals with on an everyday basis. Despite the weather, one of the most anticipated matches aired today, U.S. versus Germany. Challenge accepted. Reporting in Yuma, I'm Molly Lange. It was a positive turnout for YPD's Coffee with the Cop event. Mostly Muffins was packed with people excited to chat with the local law enforcement.
Some people that didn't know about what was going on came in asking about, what's going on, and we explained it to them, and then they got excited about it. One of the ladies behind the counter said that her phone's been blowing up, wanted to know why are all the cops at Mostly Muffins and what crime has been committed there.
It's an opportunity for the officers to hear what the community has to say, and they even picked up the tab.
Unfortunately, most of our contact with the public is either a traffic stop, a traffic violation, a crisis situation, an emergency, and those really aren't a good opportunity. They don't provide a good opportunity for us to connect. And this does. Low stress, a cup of coffee, maybe a muffin, and a conversation.
At Coffee with the Cop, people can ask questions, voice concerns, and get to know the officers in their neighborhood.
It's a comfortable place for people to come in and bring issues to us like this, and we can work together with the community to solve them.
Even those who didn't plan on having coffee with the law enjoyed their company.
It was their Muffin Thursday, and they didn't know anything about it, so they were surprised and really appreciative that we are coming out and doing this with the community.
Coffee with the Cop's success lies in the informal one-on-one interactions in a friendly atmosphere.
Even if there is some sort of negativity about it, I think the positive of the connection and the relationships that we can build with the community vastly outweigh any negative that anybody can bring about it. So I think we started this today, and I expect to see this continue for years.
They plan on hosting their next Coffee with a Cop event in November.
It's a unique experience, and I'm glad it's something that we brought to Yuma, and we hope to continue to do it.
Molly Lange, News 11. 28-year-old Nikolai Graney was in court Thursday, facing charges following a fatal crash Wednesday night. Police say Graney was westbound in the left turn lane on 32nd Street and believe he failed to stop for a red light, colliding with a moped driven by a 23-year-old man.
It proceeded to turn during a red turn signal, and it collided with a moped, which caused significant injury to the driver of the moped. He was transported to RMC, where he was pronounced deceased.
Graney is facing charges for endangerment, causing serious injury or death while committing a moving violation, and criminal damage. The investigation on this fatal crash is still being looked into by YPD. Yuma Fire Department pays special tribute to the firefighters that lost their lives on September 11th by placing 343 flags in their lawn.
343 firefighters and 72 police officers who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
The tradition began 12 years ago. Fire Captain Paul Ivancho and his daughter Brittany wanted to honor the lives that were lost on that tragic day.
For us, for firefighters, for public safety personnel, it's about those that were courageous to give their life to save others. We want to remember that.
With the help of the Honor Guard and United Yuma firefighters' pipes and drums, YFD took the time to reflect on the day that shook our country 13 years ago.
I think the whole community, and actually the whole country at that time in 2001, they felt like they were part of that community there. We were all shooken up and everybody united.
On September 11, 2001, at 10:28 a.m. Eastern Time, the North Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. YFD observed a minute of silence at that time, along with the rest of the country, to remember the victims lost.
The community was invited, and certainly Our Border Patrol partners are public safety agencies, they're law enforcement, they're brothers and sisters of the fire department, of the police department. We treat them the same.
All Yuma Fire Department stations honor those that lost their lives by flying their flags at half-staff for Patriots Day.
We know the risks, we have to protect against the risks, and sometimes, like on September 11, 2001, the risks catch up to you.
The Yuma Fire Department has a piece of the Twin Towers to honor the lives that were lost at the World Trade Center. Their 9/11 memorial is on display at Fire Station Number 1, so that we never forget. Molly Lange, News 11. Here at Yuma Regional Cancer Center, they're offering testing to help patients determine whether they're at risk of developing cancer. High-risk genetic testing is a modern way to test for cancer, popular now thanks to the support of celebrity advocates such as Christina Applegate and Angelina Jolie.
And, finishing things up so that we can see at high-risk patients that's got a strong family history of breast, ovarian, and colon cancer.
Not everyone needs to get high-risk genetic testing because the most common cancer is sporadic.
Hereditary composes probably about 5% of all of the cancers, but if it's hereditary, you add a lifetime risk, a very high risk of cancer, which can be prevented or take preventive measures.
But doctors can determine your risk with your personal history, blood testing, and extensive family history.
Your overall pedigree, and that's what we call the family history, is the most important, from the youngest to the oldest, and that goes back, like I say, about 3 generations.
The age bracket most typically at risk is under the age of 50.
It's important we know which side of the family, how old they were at diagnosis, what type cancer.
Once doctors receive your results, they give you options of preventative measures based on your risk factor. Molly Lange, News 11. Rural Metro brought out all their vehicles Wednesday morning to see how their new hires handle the rain.
Learning the turning radius of the ambulance is really the biggest obstacle.
First responders are always in the moment when called to the scene.
Be able to control the adrenaline rush, because the first time out, it's a rush. You feel like you have the most power in the world, and then you really realize how dangerous you are. They play a special role in saving lives and staying safe on the roadways.
Biggest challenge would be not being familiar with the truck. And what I've noticed is when they're backing, trying to do all the backing, that's where they have most of the trouble with. It is a pass-fail. If they knock down one of the cones that we have set up for them, they need to go through it again.
They take this course very seriously.
I picture every cone as a person, so if I hit a cone, then I'm running over a person. So that's pretty much the biggest thing we're learning, or I'm relearning today.
Be aware of emergency vehicles, as they are aware of you.
The importance is just because if we're not the safe drivers out there, then how am I going to expect the patient to be safe or the public to be safe?
Molly Lange, News 11. Okay, good. So how am I holding?
So what we're going to want to do is first bring the weapon up, get a really good, you're going to want to move your feet roughly about shoulder width apart. Have one foot, your right hand, correct?